Okay, folks, let me have your attention. Let me just say, welcome to our July 23rd meeting of the Tricentennial Meeting, a committee that's very much involved in planning and preparing for our giant celebration in 2025. It's exciting to be here. I can tell by the smiles on your faces as we have the photo taken outside. And again, John and Freddie, thank you very much for hosting the next meeting. We thank ECAT, Eastern Community Access Television, for bringing this meeting into people's living room so that they can be updated on some of the plans that we have for this celebration. I would like to also say that we welcome our honorary co-chairs. I know William's not here this evening, but thank you, Fred. And we'd also like to welcome our select board member, Craig, with the Hawaiian shirt and a hat. Now, I know we don't have everybody here. Sometimes in the summer months, it's not always going to be the case. But we're lucky to have almost 100% of our members according to the next this evening. But we have quite a few coordinators and volunteers, and we even have some new people. So let's start off by introducing yourself. It's mainly for the camera because the audience may not know who you are. What role of responsibility that you have. I'm Dave Clifton. I'm happy to chair the 300th anniversary celebration here in the town of Easton. I'm going to pass it over now to our vice chair.
Neil Harris, our vice chair. Quick word to those other members of other committees in the town who are out there. We have cookies at our meeting, so you all get up your day there. We have a couple guests tonight. So on the back of the room, David Gordon's wife, Kathy, come to take a look-see for us tonight. Hopefully they can take a low as well. And Sally Zusman is another guest over here who can take a low as well.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Corey Alden. I'm the parade coordinator.
Joan Lundgren, I'm coordinating with Diane Masadi, the Arts Festival. Honorary co-chair. Sally Sussman, Diane Masadi, secretary, co-chair, Arts Festival in the town.
Lisa Braxton, MRB, University of Maine.
Mikey Goodmark, communication shirt.
Chris Manfresco, head of photography in the Tricentennial Meeting.
Dave Anderson, block party coordinator.
Dan Anderson, I work with her in the block party.
I'm Ken Michael, business and coordinator, utility infielder, and I'm not sure what I'm doing. And I'm Greg Barker, the select board representative for this committee. We welcome you all. We welcome the new folks. We hope you continue to join us. I now call this meeting to order. We have a pause. And the first order of business will be to approve the minutes of our previous meeting. I'm talking about June 25th, the fourth Tuesday of the month. And I'm going to ask folks to probably receive the minutes in the mail. Hopefully you get a chance to look them over. Do we have any suggestions, additions, subtractions for the minutes? Would anyone like to see a copy that I happen to have with me? June 25th. giving some thought to that, I wanted to thank both Diane and Roz for not only doing the minutes, but also posting them and following the appropriate protocol. So if you have no questions, additions, we'll give Jeanette a few more minutes to look them over. Someone like to make a motion?
I move to approve the minutes of the meeting of June 25th.
We have a motion, we have a second by Joe. The motion was made by Dale. Any discussion? All those in favor of the minutes of June 25th, raise your right hand and say aye at the same time.
Aye.
Perfect coordination. Anybody opposed? Nobody's opposed. The motion is carried. We have just approved the minutes of June 25th. And now we're going to talk about July 9th, which was our brainstorming session. We did not have a quorum, so we couldn't vote on anything, although everything was posted. We had a terrific discussion, and we also came up with some ideas of things that we can vote on tonight. So, is there anybody that has any questions on the brainstorming session that we had at ECAP conference room? No suggestions, additions, subtractions? Would someone like to make a motion? We have a motion by Roz, our assistant secretary, a second by Diane, the secretary. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The motion is carried. Good enough. Moving along to the chair's report. I did send members, the voting members of our committee, a copy of some things that we need to think about in the months ahead. As of tonight, folks, we're just about 5 months away from the anniversary year. Joe, I'm wondering, do you think you could turn the fan down a little bit? Not to turn the clock out, so we can hear each other.
Yeah.
There are 2 sheets that I put together as the chair, with input from other members. One sheet is all the accomplishments we've had since early 2023. The second sheet has about 35 suggestions, recommendations, and I'd like our committee to start thinking about as we head towards 2025. I know that these suggestions are things like coming up with a sponsor for the kickoff event. That's something that, of course, is going to be important. Finalizing all the signature events, and I hope that tonight we can do that. So each time we come back to a meeting, we don't have to keep deciding what the date is, the time, and the place for the events that we've been talking about for months. And I know that we've already approved it. We did have some dates and some times we had to fill in. We had a relocation of the date of the parade. We had a relocation of the picnic and concert. So those things are in place now. And on the agenda, I'm going to be calling for a motion to approve that so we can move on with other items. Certainly, we're going to hear on the agenda about the anniversary book, which Chris is heading up. He's already got some bids on some books, and things are starting to move. I'm excited about it because it's, even though we say we have 5 months, let me change that by saying we have 12 meetings. That makes it a little shorter, and that means that we have to move as fast as we can. I thought the most difficult thing we were doing was to raise the money. Right now we have about $265,000, and we also have 15 or 16 banners. We have another 5 tonight that come in. Our plan and our hope is to have about 90 to 100 banners. It's going to be scattered on Center Street, on the main street, in the center of town. And it's also going to, we're also do banners at the 5 corners. And a lot of the places that have purchased banners have also picked a site where they'd like to see the banner go. Every other wooden pole, and thanks to the cooperation of DPW, we're going to be placing, we're going to be putting those banners up and taking them down the following year. So the question is, how many months do the banners hang? About 12 months. Maybe a little bit more, depending on DPW is able to pick these up. You all saw the banners. I'll give you one more look at it before you see them hanging on the street. That's our logo, 300 years. And on the bottom, the black target banner will be the sponsor. Everybody seems to like the banners. We haven't had too many people that said no. And we're excited about it. With all the members of the voting members of our committee get copies of the additional requests, things that we have to do in the days and the months ahead. You all got it, so I'm not going to go through the entire list. We're going to be meeting with the police department to talk about security and all of the signature events. We're going to be meeting to talk about the other events that are not necessarily sponsored by our committee. The fire chief is dealing with the fireworks company. We're going to be meeting with the school to talk about the picnic, the flag ceremony. We've blocked the park already with the flag people. And they're going to spread out 3 flags. One is a non-Rushmore flag. It takes 40 people to hold each flag. So just not enough volunteers for that. I think we'll do a piece of cake to make that happen. So, we're going to go through all the events, and we see that on the agenda. I just wanted to give you a brief update. One of the things I would like to vote on tonight, and Anne Marie and Amanda have that request because they can be under the merchandise. We have already approved and okayed the concept of selling merchandise at all of our events. This is money that's going to come back. We're talking about voting tonight on $14,107, I think, is the figure. I'll look it up before we vote on it. But we'd like to make that official tonight and move on with all the other things that we got in our plan. I have that figure already. I'm sorry it took so long. $14,147. You don't have to wait on it, you can do it right now.
Am I correct? Yeah, am I correct that we had already considered this very same list and voted on it, we just didn't have to reflect it in the minutes, so we don't really need to reopen the discussion. It's the same
I
list.
actually prepared a spreadsheet of all of the, Amanda had given me that spreadsheet, so I added estimated shipping because shipping was not included on that. So, not, yeah, so I've got, I was going to make sure that I gave this to Diane so that this could become part of the minutes. I do have copies of my version if you want to see it.
What is your total with the
With the
shipping?
shipping, it's $24,289.96.
That's
I've already voted on some of it.
It's already been, we've already approved the purchase, but I wanted to make sure that the actual amounts for each thing that we approved that we did. So I think if we just make this, I can send you the spreadsheet.
That's $10,000.
I know, I don't know what that number is that you were.
$14,147. And raised.
I wonder if that's the same list.
It's the same.
It seems extraordinarily high, $10,000 for shipping for $14,000.
That's the potential
Yeah.
revenue, that's not the actual cost.
Oh, so we're just voting on
Yeah, we're voting on the cost.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the cost of what when you're including the shipping in, so it's $14,100 and change, are you asking for us to approve a slightly higher figure that includes the shipping?
Yes.
Okay, so
The 14,000 column is the revenue, is the potential, the net revenue, the net revenue. How much are you
Anne-Marie, what's the figure? We know we've already voted on this.
24,000.
Our intention tonight is to make sure we
That's
get
the
it in
potential. We're gonna upcharge. That's the net.
I don't know that.
And Amanda gave me a figure of 14,147.
Yeah, 14,000.
This doesn't need to go on tonight.
We have to go on this. Cost plus, I can actually do it. It's just the same cost as this, yeah. Yeah, okay. So,
What's the figure?
the figure that I have for the actual cost of the items with estimated shipping is $24,289.96. That number that you're looking at is the net income after everything is sold. We don't need to go on that, we need to go on the cost. Well, we don't need to go on the cost, we already did. I just wanna make sure that these individual costs get into the minutes.
So looking at the prior spreadsheet, the total cost without shipping apparently was $22,818.22. So, okay, so the prior 14,000 was the net revenue, so you really shouldn't be looking at that figure.
Not
So
looking at that.
we should actually be moving to approve the figure that you referenced, that is the cost including shipping. So can I just want to again state what that figure is?
$24,289.96.
Any questions? Let's call for motion.
I move to approve the expenditure as stated by Annette.
Second by Joe. Joe made the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. Okay, Gail. Give your volunteers report.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair. Can we turn this down or turn it off? Because I'm having a difficult time hearing the conversation. That's what your brother does.
Yeah, it's better here. Background music.
I want to be in a position. I just wanted to say what we're talking about merchandise. Go like this. I want to be in a position to have the merchandise. I spoke with Anne-Marie for the summer concert series so that we can sell it here and have a table as well.
Yeah, we have some updates on that as part of my report. We're moving the ball forward on a variety of fronts. First, Anne-Marie and I met with Joe Petey of the town to talk about the use of an online platform of the town for sale of the Easton 300 merchandise and also for access to their point of sale system for use of the credit card terminals at things like the summer concerts. So we had a productive meeting. Amanda wasn't able to attend but did listen in later, and we followed up with some additional communications. In general, as I understand it, the team that's going to be putting this sort of platform together is going to be Anne-Marie, Amanda, Joe Petey, hopefully Sally, our guest here this evening, can help out, who has some experience doing website development, and Mike and John Tracy. I talked to John before. So what we're looking at doing now, in light of some of the limitations or what we understand the limitations to be of the online platform of the town, where we apparently would not be able to put images and so forth, John Tracy indicated that we can create a separate web page on the Easton 300 that has all of the images, all of the pricing information, sizes and so forth, and then it would link to the town's platform. I have not yet heard back from Joe as to whether we can do it where it just does a total transaction. So if you have 10 items totaling $150, you can just enter one, or whether you have to do it for each separate item. But in essence, we'll just allow that team to kind of move the ball forward. So we're expecting that there will be a follow-up Zoom meeting with those folks. And the expectation is to have that ready so that we can have the point of sale system, so we can start doing some sales at the summer concerts. We do have to go through a credit card training program, so we're going to need 5, 6, 7 people. So as soon as we hear back from Joe, we will pass that information out to everybody. I'm hoping as many folks as possible can do that, so we can all help out to sell at the various events starting, this summer. And we are hopeful to have the online up and running hopefully by September 1, no later than September 1. Does that sound about right, Emery?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, definitely.
And then the second thing I wanted to talk a little bit about is just I'm finally kind of moving the ball forward a little bit more on the community outreach. And in general, the program that we have is we are partnering with various community organizations for purposes of their ability to work with us to volunteer to help make our various signature events a success, and also to have them coordinate the kind of events that they typically do or new events that they would be doing that tie in nicely with Easton 300. And we had previously had a meeting in February that was put out available. We had about 15, 20 people or so who met over at the Knights of Columbus. And now what we're doing is targeting those organizations and reaching out. So we've scheduled meetings with the Lions. I met with the president this past Sunday at 7:15. I'm going to head across to this area to Queesit. They're having a board of directors meeting tonight. We're looking to get approval from the Lions for them to be participating in a big-time way for supporting with volunteers at 2 or 3 events, and that would include, for example, hopefully cooking at like the bonfire and helping out at a few of the other events as we move forward. And in addition, I have a meeting tomorrow morning with the Children's Museum. Was scheduled to meet with the Temple on Friday at 11. That's being rescheduled. I'm meeting next week on Tuesday with the House of Possibilities. We've also reached out to NRT, Unity Church, and We Do Care. So I'm trying to have 2 or 3 of these meetings each week as we're moving forward now that we finalize the list of signature events. I do need a little feedback from folks on the notion of this partnership with the community organizations. What I plan to do is for those organizations who are confirming that they can and will help out at various of the events, participating in some way, I'll try to shuttle those folks to the appropriate people. So by way of example, the Children's Museum indicated that they're already planning and helping out on the parade. So I'll be meeting with them tomorrow and talk a little bit more about that, and I'll send them your way, Corey, for any further involvement on that. For those events that we're going to be putting on our calendar, and I think, Diane, maybe you were going to be taking the lead on doing a calendar for all of our events?
Russ and I are going to work on that.
Okay.
The manager, I think, has a pretty good idea of how to do things.
So what I'm trying to do now is to gather a list from those community organizations of those events that we would include. So by way of example, I have a list of the Lions activities for the next Lions year. And then I'll be doing the same with the other organizations. My thinking in terms of those events, the criteria that we would use to determine which of those community organization events we're going to be promoting as part of the calendar is that it is open to the public, it is Easton-centric in some way, and we're asking but not requiring that they sort of promote Easton 300. I don't think it's a good look for us to say in order to be on the calendar you have to do X, Y, or Z, but we're just going to say, we'd love to put you on. So by way of example, the Easton's Holiday Festival, the Lions Holiday Festival, or it could be the Children's Museum Father's Day race, the kind of things that we all consider to be part of the fabric of Easton. I guess what I'll do, Diane and Roz, is just as I get that information, email it to you folks.
Sure.
Okay. So what do people think about that kind of community partner program? And should there be any other requirements for community organizations to have their events listed by us as part of the Easton 300 celebration activities?
No, so it's similar to the calendar that comes out every year. The town maybe puts it out, or one of the banks sponsor it, and it has everybody's activities.
The community calendar.
The community calendar. So it's the same idea.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. And again, I think that those events have to be open to the public, centered in Easton in some way. But otherwise, I think we kind of want to have an open door and have those folks appear on our calendar as we promote the Easton 300 activities going forward. Everybody seem to be on board with that? I don't need a vote, but Ken?
I think one of the things we need to do, though, is make sure that you don't have any overlapping of activities with signature events.
Yeah, and that's in part why we're trying to, now that we have what we think will be the final list, I've started getting that out. So when I'm reaching out to these other organizations now, letting them know when we have our events, so when they can do their scheduling as well. But that's a good point to emphasize with them, just to make sure that they're not scheduling something. And I think they probably would see it's also not in their interest to be scheduling something on the same days that we're having our activities.
Have you reached out to the Human Rights Committee regarding the Pride event, which is always in June?
No, I haven't, but I definitely will. And look, that's the kind of ideas I want. Just tell me or text me or email me, and then I can reach out to those. Do you have a contact person I should reach out to?
I'm on the committee.
Oh, you're it. Okay.
I'm on the committee, and I'm not chair, but I'm on the committee, so.
Consider yourself asked.
Happy to introduce you to the chair.
So what we'd like to do in that regard, Craig, would be as soon as you have a date and any details on it, forward it to me and Diane and Roz, and then that way we can make sure it gets into the calendar. And same with anybody else who's involved in any other community organizations. We're happy to go out and meet with those organizations. So for anybody who's watching, you can send an email to easton300.2025@gmail.com. And we'll follow up with you to schedule a meeting at your convenience to come out and talk a little bit about the Tricentennial and this community partnership program. Lisa?
I was wondering if you're going to also ask organizations to promote Easton 300 on their social media channels?
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing where I could use some feedback on about the asks on that. So I wasn't going to state that it's a requirement, but in our written materials we do ask them to do so, and so the more that they can put it out on their Facebook groups and so forth. So yeah, that's a great idea.
Dale, have you put any thought into how you're going to format the calendar so there's no confusion between our events and their events? I hate to say it like that, but
that's not my department. I have nothing to do with that.
Right. But I mean, it's a valid point.
Yes.
We just want to make sure the calendar, the 8 signature events are differentiated somehow from everything else.
Yeah, but I mean, we could just use a certain color and a different font for those. And
It's all our take,
font
but yeah.
I mean, anybody willing to work with Roz and I on that, I appreciate it.
One of the things you want to consider is the same thing that was done in the last 2 events, anniversary events, the 250th and the 275th. Right in the center of the program, in the middle of each program booklet, there's a list of the events, the dates, the event. So you may want to consider something like that, which would be either in addition to or a part of the community calendar.
I've got the books.
I know.
Most communities have a community calendar,
We do too.
but because there's an anniversary here in the town of Easton, we're asking them to kind of beef up their events to make it part of our 300s. We were talking earlier about you being involved with them, and you even said it yourself. I think it would be
On
good.
the calendar? Oh yeah, absolutely.
Work together with them. Anything else, Dale?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Dale has to attend a meeting tonight, don't you?
Yeah, the Lions at 7:15. I'm going to head over and meet with the board. So we're looking to get approvals from the Lions for their commitments for tricentennial activities going forward. So the president, who's a history buff himself, and very much on board with what we're doing, and Dave has already had a number of meetings or calls with him as well, is presenting those issues to the board, seeking approval. So hopefully we'll have a vote on that tonight.
Good. Thank you, Dale. Let's move on to our committee reports. Diane, Secretary's report. She drove back from Maine to be in the photo shoot and to have some cookies.
It was the cookies. Whoever made these two. Is that Sally?
What?
Who bought the cookies?
Yeah, I brought the cookies.
Thank you, Sally. They're delicious.
I couldn't come unless I
You weren't supposed to say that.
Because I'm driving back up to Maine again tonight.
Oh.
It's only 3.5 hours. So I posted all the minutes, the agendas, and I think that's pretty much it. I'm good. Ross has been, well, I'll let you speak.
I've been the secretary since she's been vacationing in Maine with her family and enjoying them. So I've been trying to do my best, but
Good job, Ross.
thanks. We're a team.
Okay, let's go to Jeanette, our treasurer.
Okay, so I would just like to report on the donations that we have received to date. These are actual donations, not pledges. So far, through basically last week, we have received $53,200 in donations, and our expenses have been $15,948. The ending balance, according to my reconciliation, is $91,677.21. I do have some invoices here that we need to get in the minutes. I think I'm just gonna briefly tell you who and the amount, but I will email you a detail so that it can get into the minutes. The first is Weave Tech, and that's for $1,210.77. That's for the throw blanket. Red Ball Promotions, $4,011.35, and that's for t-shirts and canvas caps. There's a deposit to Mike's Music, and this is for the first for the kickoff event. This is a deposit for game rentals, and that's $2,350. There's another deposit to who is this to? Plan B. Neon Entertainment. Sorry, Neon Entertainment. This is a deposit on the roller rink, and that's $2,075. Another deposit for the kickoff event to Party Vision for more games, children's games, I guess, for $1,770. And my favorite, the Shoveltown glasses, $345.10. That's our portion. We split it, I think, halvesies. The Shoveltown.
They came out to $2.50. They're gorgeous. I didn't bring one tonight. They're at the house.
That's
I've got all of them at home.
And that's, I don't know if I said it, $345.10. But I will email you a nice detailed list to get those in the minutes. And then I'll bring these to the town hall tomorrow to get them paid.
And Jeanette, the good news is that we have 5 or 6 more checks for banners. They're going like wildfire.
Yeah, most of the deposits most of the donations that we have gotten are for full banners. Quantity-wise, not necessarily dollar-wise.
And I know you've got some busy time coming up, but at some point,
yes,
I would like to sit down with you and Dale just to go over the budget that we used to have and how much it's going to change as we hear from all the coordinators on what they're requesting. So,
Question to Jen.
yep,
I have 2 jobs.
okay.
Actually 3.
I got somebody here.
One now.
Before the meeting's over.
Okay.
Think of those. Any questions of our treasurer? Thank you, Jeanette. Let's move on to subcommittee reports. The first report, although she's not here this evening, I'm talking about Courtney Pupkin. I do have a copy of her report. Fundraising efforts, total raised to date, $273,650. The sponsor income, which is part of that, is $254,750. The pole banners, we have now taken in $18,900, and that includes 13 new banners since the last meeting. Add on to the 13, another 5 or 6 that we have tonight. So I don't think we're going to be far off from my suggestion about 90 to 100 banners, and that we may make a profit of $10,000 to $12,000, which would be terrific. We have a number of $25,000 sponsors. We have a $15,000 sponsor. We have a couple of 10s, a 5, and the list goes on and on. So that's terrific news. And we'll make sure you get the checks tonight, and we'll get the copies of the sheets that people have to fill out if they have a banner. They have to do the same thing if they're going to enter into the parade with Corey. They have to fill out a form. It's the only way the printer's going to know what name they actually want on the banner. So that's going to be important. And I think I've said this before, let's do what we can to get it right the first time, because we certainly don't want DPW putting banners up and taking them down because a name might be misspelled. So I thank Courtney for double checking with that, And Ken and I have been knocking on doors to get as many local people involved in being part of the celebration. Next report, we're going to go to community relations, but you already gave your report.
All set, all done.
Have another puppy.
Thank you. I will.
Business, historical events. The chair is Ken Michael. Ken has been doing more than just what he has the responsibility for, and I appreciate it. Go ahead, Ken.
I'm taking applications, collecting checks, and the goal is to get all of the checks in and all the applications in by the end of the month. I noticed on the event other things to do. Walking tours for the Historical Society, we already have those set up, and it's simply a matter of implementing them in terms of the appropriate dates, filling in the gaps between the various signature events and our own open houses, which we are working on scheduling for next year, 2025. Other than that, whatever it was he just said, that's what I'm doing. I have no idea.
Anybody have any questions I'd like to ask Ken?
No, just when you finalize the walking tour dates and open houses, obviously it goes into that calendar, but we also should, there's been some back and forth about the communication of the signature events, what specifics or regardless. I'd like to keep the communication channels that we have created communicating, so once we have updates or we're comfortable saying there's going to be walking tours on such and such a date, I'd like to put that on our social.
Yep, you'll get that.
Yep, same with the open houses.
Yep.
Awesome, perfect. I can help you with the.
Okay,
yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike, you took the lead into the next item on the agenda. And Mike is going to be the guy, as our marketing person, that's going to deal with Clear Channel on the billboard. We've already communicated with the billboard company. I had about 6 calls, and I know Sean from Town Hall has been communicating with them. I got them down to 5,000, but it's more difficult getting them to sign the contract, which is going to be signed this week. So we're in good shape. Mike's going to be the guy as our marketing coordinator in charge of communications to decide, with input from us, what we would like to see on the billboard when it's changed 2 or 3 times. We do have some documents that we printed that indicate that we want to give credit to sponsors on some of these billboard signs. They're paying the bill, and we want to make sure they get credit for it. So, anything you want to say, Mike, about the billboard?
In terms of the billboard, we'll have to review the contract. I think we actually get 2 swaps. So you get one, and then they take it down however many months, and then you have a final. So I think the original concept would be celebrating EC 300, signature events. What we need to double check is what, if anything, we've signed up for through sponsorships to have on that billboard, or if we can wait till the second phase, which is thanking all the sponsors. So that's kind of the back and forth. In terms of anything that goes up, obviously, we'll have to work as a group. Maybe the next brainstorming session start getting into that, because I believe if we're targeted for December for it to go up, November, December, he wanted to hear from us in October. We don't have to be perfect in what we submit. They have free of charge, or not free of charge, nothing's free. Part of what we're paying for is they will work with us to make sure that our concept will look good as it's displayed. So we have some resources to tap into there. Yeah, and that's basically it. So once the contract's fully executed, then we can put some time in. I mean, we can start doing some concepts. So if anyone wants to play billboard designer at home for the next brainstorming session, we can get together. But I think just highlighting the 8 signature events, website, the logo, those are the kind of the main points we want to have on there to start, and then we'll go from there.
Excuse me, Mike.
Terrific. Anyone else have any questions, Joe?
When would the second?
So we
what's
originally
the
had
month we're talking about for that? Because you were saying thank you.
So I'm thinking it's like 6 months in. So the way it was, the original contract, we had 3 terms. Now we're down to 2. So I don't know what the exact split is. I don't know if we have a say in that. So that's a conversation. Once I see that we've cut the check.
I heard it was 6 months.
So if it's 6 months, then there you go. So that'll be May, because if we go in December, it would be May-ish that you're putting the next one up. So just food for thought on that. In terms of overall marketing communications, we can just kind of bang through this. In terms of what is out on the social, the Facebook and the Instagram, Amanda has an updated copy of the calendar or just the bullet points. I will swap that out. Originally, what I put up was basically just to get something up there because we've been kind of going back and forth. I do want to ask though, because we keep talking about changing the signature, not changing, sorry. I know there's tweaks to be made to the signature events, little, nuances, but from the standpoint of what she sent, and not everyone has this, but January 4th is the kickoff event, the 26th is the Arts and Cultural Festival, the 14th, picnic, concert, fireworks, the 12th is the parade, the 6th of September block party, the 11th the bonfire, the 27th the gala. Those are all confirmed, right? Those aren't going to change.
We're going to vote on that tonight and make it official.
All right.
Put it in the minutes. And
Okay.
we're going to call it completed after tonight's meeting.
And then the little bullet points that were up for debate, we can kind of continue. It's like I know we're waiting on approval for fireworks for the kickoff event. Things of that will be subject to change. Okay, perfect. The last thing I have is, or two things. One, put me down to volunteer for credit card training or whatever. So I'll do that. If we're going to have merch for sale at the summer concert, it feels like summer's almost over because I already had my summer vacation, which was too early this year. So
You got 5 more.
Five more.
Plus
All
the
right.
finale.
So based on that, I know that we're going to create an online store and do like a real professional photo shoot. Tonight, if it's possible, I'd like to take a couple iPhone pictures of things to put on the social to say that there will be things for sale. Again, I'm going with like that sneak peek approach, like nothing formal, there's nothing about, but coming up at events. So if we could do that maybe.
You want me to send them right to you?
If you have pictures already, I'll take them. I know that there was an email.
I don't have any really good pictures, but I have a lot of merch. It's all folded.
Some of the bigger items that will stand out in a picture.
Yep.
Yeah, if you want to send
Yep.
me a couple things,
Sure.
I'll get that out this week.
Absolutely.
That would be awesome. And then I guess that's it for now.
Mike, when you put those things out, is there a way that you could also, like if you're doing like a flyer kind of thing that you're putting out, send it to the email group as well so that we can in turn then boost it by sending out
Sure.
the groups that we're involved in?
So I will say, yes, I can definitely do that. So you all have what's going to go up tonight, which is what Amanda sent. So that's going up, so you have that. I can definitely, with the tools I'm using, Canva, is that what it is?
Yeah.
So anything I create on that, I'll send it in advance that this is going up. I did hear back from the town that, and I don't know if I told anyone this, on the town crier, they actually track who clicks on what, which I didn't know, but they do. And ours actually gets the most traction, which is concerning for the schools and other communities. And the Tricentennial stuff is actually being clicked on. So I would like to put something out about the merch, but I don't know where we are with volunteers. So the deadline's what's today, Tuesday? So if I can do something tonight, it's usually Wednesday they want to have it by. So if I miss this deadline, it'll be for next week. I want to put another call for volunteers and to go to the site, kind of something like that, but also make mention of merch and summer concerts and things of that nature. So I will send the group what's going to go in there, and then you all can say yay or nay. I don't want to get too micromanaged because it takes time, to hear from everyone. So I'll just put it out there that there will be something going out, if not this week and next week's town crier.
You don't want to be too diluted either, right? You want to sort of get your major things out.
Exactly. But just so you know, that actually is getting clicks.
Thanks.
So Michael, will you put the email address for people to respond as volunteers?
Yeah, so they can use the email. There's also the online portal. So if anyone's going to easton300.org, we are intaking that and it's being checked once a week. There's been some response through that mechanism. So, and then the last thing I ask is, how long are you going to sell poll banners for? When is the deadline?
Well, there's no stopping him. He's
Yeah, I
always something. 2030, whatever.
There'll be two on every poll. Is there going to be a cutoff? Just because if there's any communication that goes out about that, I just want to say last call or something like that.
You mean as far as donating?
Yeah, I mean, or when do you have to
Buying
the poll banners? Do you have
Buying the banners?
Yeah.
November 1st.
With my experience doing this in another town, we did it right up to the end.
Okay, so you're just gonna leave it
But
open-ended?
the deadline comes from DPW.
That's what I'm saying. They're gonna put them up in
So we'll
November,
work that out
November
with,
1st.
Dave.
Okay, all right, no biggie, was just curious.
I've had discussions with them, and we have talked about how many we're gonna have. He said he's got plenty of wooden poles.
He's getting more tickets than you get there.
We do what we can with what we have, and if he says that we should stop, we'll stop.
Okay.
But I'll go through here.
Just want to ask, do we have our social media logos on all the flyers that are going out to the public? Since those are other channels that people can click on and see what we're doing, what about the flyer you have there? Do we have our, whatever it is, Instagram, you mentioned?
Yeah, we have them.
Facebook. We have them on the flyers.
No, we don't, so we should, but we don't.
That's another thing you might want to consider.
So to add that, so right now we have, we've got the logo and then we've got the,
The address of the.
right, that's what I'm just saying, what, just to make sure we're on the same page, what we should, we have the website on, but you're suggesting adding the Facebook and Instagram things as well, so that should be, pretty much appear on all of them, right?
Yes, that should be on every.
Yeah.
But could we just do a QR code with everything on it? I think that's a better idea. Yeah, why don't we just do a QR code with everything, so somebody can just look at it and get all the addresses.
Pass that copy already?
Yeah, so you're not like, looking right this one.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's do that.
I mean, I have it on the back of my phone, the QR code, and it pulls up all my social tags.
Oh, cool, okay.
You're really high tech. I'm impressed. But we should have that for ours, so somebody can just look at it once at the camera.
I'm gonna go down the QR code road.
Okay, Mike, is there anything else that you have?
I'm good.
Can I just, Mike, how many billboards do we have in town?
We only have, we only sign up for one.
One,
Yeah.
which is where?
It's the
123 and 138?
Yeah, but
And the honeydew
still
hot
don't.
dog.
By the Honeydew Done?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them.
Okay, Mike, thank you. The next item on the agenda, and I'm going to ask Select Board Craig. The former Select Board had the responsibility of putting together permits and logistics. Didn't know if you wanted to pick up working with the fire chief to get the permits for the fireworks, those kinds of things.
Sure, I'll be happy to work on that. Is there someone else on the committee that's already started that conversation with the police and fire?
Hasn't been started yet.
Okay, all right. So you want me just to open the door? Okay, all right.
Appreciate that.
Sure.
The next item on the agenda is a progress report on the pole banners. I think between Courtney, Ken, and myself, we got that taken care of. And it's going to happen, and it's going to be absolutely terrific. And I can't thank the printer, Ed Bass, for all of his cooperation. We're going to certainly dress up the parade route, the main street, and 5 corners. The next item on the agenda, item number 9, approve purchasing funds. We had a motion, Anne Marie, you're all set with that? Anything else you want to say about the merchandising?
Merchandising, no, I'm ready to go. We've got a lot of merchandise I have stored, a lot is still on its way. So I'm just waiting for a payment form so I can get at Joan's Summer Concert Series. And then we've got a big event on September 13th at the brewery where they're going to be introducing the Tricentennial beer. So we definitely want a merch booth there. So other than that, as far as merch, I did get the information from you from Redball on the orange t-shirts or whatever color you want for staff t-shirts. So I'll give this to you. Based on $107.15, that's with the stamped black logo of that, and whatever you want back, volunteer or staff. But they should be, notated.
I'll take that and we'll discuss it with the committee to
Yes.
see how they feel about it.
Yeah.
And I know that Corey's gonna be interested in having parade hats for the people who are working to line up all the bands and so forth. When people show up, they see that parade hat, and they're gonna be able to ask questions. So we'll
Hats
talk
or
about
t-shirts,
that.
both hats and t-shirts?
Caps.
You want information from Brian on, you want us to get that as well? Or you want to get that?
You can do that.
Okay, all right.
Dave, will they just be the standard Eastern 300, or will it say
Like
that
these?
plus?
No, I
plus
think
parade
myself,
on
that's
it?
gonna be up to Corey as the coordinator,
It
but
said parade.
I'm thinking it should say parade on it,
Yes.
so people, there'll be other people in town wearing those hats.
But you don't want them
And they may be hanging
embroidered.
around the
I'd be
parade.
like getting a whole group in town.
You don't want to spend money for embroidery, right? You just want
Yes.
it
The other
to
thing
be
we
on.
could do, Dave, the other thing we could do is keep the hats the way they are and have t-shirts that say parade on them, you know?
Oh, that's a good one.
So that way you don't have to create a whole new design for the hats and have two different designs on the hats. It's an option.
Well, we have other hats coming that
Okay.
have that logo on them, and then we have Easton 300. The other ones aren't in yet, these are in. So,
Whatever
whatever,
makes the most sense, I think.
yeah,
is fine.
okay. Well, let me know. Also on merch, I just need to know, I know we have a lot of merch and a big budget. Do we want a mug, yes or no? And then I have two to choose from. I have the sample of the blank of the throw here, if anybody wants to look at it. And do we want a tote, yes or no? There's 3 samples.
I think at the last meeting, we
Did we?
did that. We voted on the mug, that black and white mug.
Did we vote on the black and, at the brainstorming, right? But not at an
Not, I
official
wasn't at the
meeting.
brainstorming, it was
Okay.
the one before that, and the
Did we vote on
totes.
this?
We didn't vote on it, I think we just,
We
Yeah.
chose
I
them,
looked at
and we
them.
chose the 2 totes.
Yeah, we
Okay.
chose.
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
tote, the
We-
tote bag too.
It was 2 totes we chose.
Okay, okay. So we'll go over that.
Yep.
But I didn't know if everybody was on board.
No, I don't think there's a
Okay. So it just depends on how much merch you want. This is the last 2 of it, so.
How does everybody feel about it?
How do you feel about
Yeah,
that?
at the last
Mike?
meeting, everybody liked the mugs.
Yeah.
Just one.
I know at one of the meetings, we said we liked it,
Yeah.
and we found out it cost money.
Everything costs.
But does anybody feel that we want to add that to the list?
I thought we decided, yes, we were going to.
I
Yeah.
think we should.
Is that what they said? Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
I
just,
think we make it
sure, yes, I have
previous
those.
So we've already, we haven't voted on it, we just talked about it. You want to
Okay.
vote on it now? Do we have a
Well-
motion
I'm
on the mug?
Yep.
A motion by Diane,
Yep.
Second.
seconded by Joanne. All those in favor?
Who seconded it?
My second, yeah.
Oh, Joan, oh, your sister Joan.
Okay.
Did you?
Oh, did we say,
We did.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Raise your hand. Good. The motion is carried.
Okay.
And Anne Marie,
So that's it.
and we'll design it.
Yeah, we'll do the other, yeah.
Dave, I have to run to the Lions board meeting. Can I just interject with one quick thing? So Anne Marie has 3 contracts for the first event. My understanding is that each of these are in the amount of $4,000 or $5,000 or so, but these need to be signed by, I presume, Connor on behalf of the town. Do we have somebody who's been coordinating with Connor or Sean on
Sean.
contracts?
Sean has been.
Okay, but do we have a lead here who kind of coordinates on getting those and getting them back, or such?
Some of us thought that our attorney.
All right, I'll keep them, I got it. Okay. I was trying to hand it
I
off.
second that.
Unsuccessful, rejected.
Gail, Gail,
Take a picture with
if you want, I'll do it.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great, thank you. Just, that was on my plate. If you guys wouldn't mind, just pass that down to Ken, thank you.
I thought they only had to sign above a certain dollar, and they have to
That's
sign.
what
I don't think we can
Select
sign
board.
any contracts.
Oh, okay, I thought we could under
Yeah,
a certain
Connor
amount.
can
Over a
sign
certain
under
amount, the
25,000.
Oh, select board has to sign,
Anything
that's it.
25,000
Right,
over must
yeah.
be signed by the select board. Anything under 25 grand signed by the town administrator.
So the wrong name.
Found that out a long time
The
ago.
wrong name.
Okay, The next item on the agenda would be coordinator reports. I'm going to give you a rest right now, Anne Marie, and go to Joan and Diane to report on the Art and Cultural Festival.
Sure.
And of course, that's scheduled for April 26th.
Right, April 26th, I believe it's 11 to 4.
That's right.
I have some initial feelers out for food, area restaurants, some feelers out for music. Primarily, it's going to be here at Ames Hall. We're going to use the whole hall. Weather permitting, we'll use outside. Had some conversations with Shoveltown for the beer, for the wine. Maybe we'll do the bourbon tasting for Dale the same day. Diane's had talks with, and I'm sorry, his name is escaping me, for the Tai Chi, which we'll do at Queeset, and also the library to see what their involvement will be. I've spoken with Unity Church. They very much want to be involved, have some tours, have some other things going on that day. And then hopefully that date, 4/26, can be an open house at the Historical Society as well.
Well, let me check what the scheduling is, but if we need one, we'll have it.
Yeah, so we could have it that day and kind of have a tour coming up here. We're going to have
Almost
the art
like, yeah.
co-op involved.
You and I can talk. I had
Yeah.
thought while you were talking about it as well. So
And then the call to artists, I have the form. Diane and I will refine that a bit, and the essay contest and the photo contest, and I think that's about it for now because of the timing of where we are. We have the parameters, and we will fill it in.
Would you be using the Queeset House too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
I know
thought
in
I
my
said that.
discussions with the Ames Free Library and the Queeset House, they're excited about joining in with you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joan. Diane?
I know there are quite a few authors and poets in Easton. In addition to the artist activity, would there be something for maybe a poetry slam or something like that?
Sure,
Bring in
yeah,
the younger
we want
generation?
to make it all-encompassing, so
Cool.
that would certainly be something we could put into that.
That'd be good. Because I know he has to leave early too, he's babysitting as well. I'm going to ask Corey, who's off and running with the parade committee. And of course, they're meeting on the 25th. And there's excitement in the air. And I was excited to hear that there's a possibility of getting some bands and the Shriners. And the, what am I thinking of? The horses. Clydesdales. Which we took. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So good evening, everybody. My name is Corey Honan, Parade Coordinator. And yeah, we've got some good work going, good energy going with the committee. I've actually got a few folks I've called on to come help out. So hopefully we'll have some new faces this week. The table should be pretty full. The point we're at right now, so we had to change the date early on. I think, I hope everyone in here understands and agrees that that was for the best to change it from the 4th of July to July 12th. So I just think it'll be for better attendance, and we'll get a good turnout that day as well. So we have a couple bands booked that are traveling from Connecticut. They should be a good turnout. And then obviously we're going to work with the local OA band, local organizations. But right now we're really trying to, gauge support and gauge interest in local organizations, individuals that really make Easton, right? So like the restaurants, the establishments, the things that we all think of when we think of Easton. And just trying to reach out to those folks and see what their interest would be in building a float, which it's a pretty tall order, So some people they're gonna maybe feel like it's too much for them to take on, and we want to support them. If they feel overwhelmed by that, maybe they can't do it. Maybe they can enter a vehicle with a sign, a magnetic sign on it. Maybe they can walk with a banner. So we're really trying to make it as inclusive as possible. No act or float would be too small to enter, and we're just trying to get as much support as possible. We've got a good response so far. We have a handful of folks that have filled out the form. to participate. We've got some verbal agreements to participate, and yes, as Dave had mentioned, the Clydesdales, the potential for the Shriners, and several bands. So we're looking at budget, and I'll be back to this committee to report a budget here shortly once we figure out public safety costs and things like that, and we'll see where we're at. But it's going well so far, and I appreciate some of the input I've gotten from folks in this room, and I appreciate the support and help from Dave, Roz especially, at every one of our meetings, taking the notes and putting out our minutes, so much appreciated there. And I think we'll be in good shape here soon. We're meeting bi-weekly, so we get a good battle rhythm going, and we're hoping to have a full list of entries and floats here soon before fall. So anyone who's watching this and you want to enter, or you feel like you want to explore that option, please reach out to us. The email address again, Easton300
2025.
2025.
2025.
Easton300.2025.
Easton300. That's not an email address.
2025.
2025.
That's it?
At gmail.
Easton300.2025@gmail.com. That's an email address. Yes, so please feel free to reach out there, and we'll get someone in touch with you, and we'll help you, walk through the process, answer any questions you may have, we'll make it real easy. So please come out, support Easton, support 300 years of Easton, and again, the theme of the parade is just Easton throughout the years, so we want to see some time period stuff, some history stuff, all the way up through today, so please come on out and support.
And floats.
Yes.
Yeah. Corey, question for you. Have you reached out to the school yet about the OA band? Because I have advice if you haven't.
Been in talks with Mr. Benson, but not. What's your advice?
Well, so they have no budget. The band doesn't have any money.
Yeah.
But they're going to need buses to get the kids to the parade and back.
Yeah.
So to try and entice him, just start the conversation off with, we will pay for your buses if you can get the band there.
Do you want better? We will supply buses.
Well, that's what I mean, exactly, because that'll be his first problem is the logistics and the money part of it that they just don't have for this. So if you can dangle that carrot, that would really probably help entice.
Yeah, it's a
That's
great
my only
flag.
advice,
And, I've been working with Jeff for a number of years, working at our local parade.
Yep.
We've provided transportation in the past, partnering with our Health and Community Services Department.
Cool.
Which I actually happen to be a former employee of. So got a little connection there. We can make that work. That's a great flag, though, for sure. We definitely want to make it as easy for folks. And in the summer, I'm hoping that they can.
Well, because that's the other thing you're facing is the kids aren't in school, so he can't make them do it. So he might easily just say, yeah. But if you wave it and make it as easy as possible, then hopefully they can put something together. Because it'd be a shame not to have the kids do it.
Yeah, so, maybe extra credit or something.
Talk to the superintendent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yes.
Yeah,
Joe?
I wanted to add to that. Fred has graciously agreed to, after the parade, to have the veterans back here, honor the veterans, and have a luncheon or have something here at the hall for them.
That's really nice.
Very nice.
Very good.
Perfect.
That's great. Yeah. Awesome. So, and I know I've gone into full detail about it. I won't belabor it tonight, but the parade is going to form up near Depot Center Street intersection. Details forthcoming, and march down Center Street and turn right onto Main Street and disperse at Immaculate Conception area. So we'll get full details here, but just so folks know, and that's on July 12th. Parade will form up around 9 a.m. or so, step off at 10 a.m. Probably guesstimate about an hour for that thing to make its way through, we hope. So, I think we're in a great spot. The neighborhood should be booming. Just people step right out and you're on the parade path. So we're hoping for a great turnout.
Corey, is it possible at Immaculate Conception when they end to have cold drinks and refreshments for the people who are in the parade? Because it's going to be hot.
We'll have to speak with them on
things
that.
like that?
If not, we will set something up
Yeah.
at a different location, but I don't want to volunteer their facility to do that, because I don't know if we've got them to agree to that, but
That's sounding.
we will have something to be sure that folks get adequate access to water or shade or, yeah. Yeah, 'cause it should be, it gets pretty hot around this time of year, so.
Corey, have you spoken to the folks in Immaculate Conception yet?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a question about the month of August.
Yeah, we've spoken to them. I'm not so sure they want to participate, so. We can talk offline if we want. Yeah.
Thank you, Corey.
Thank you,
It
sir.
sounds exciting. Here's a sheet that has the logo, PO box, webpage.
Thank
You
you.
can keep that in your files.
Awesome.
Anne Marie, we're going to go back to you
Oh,
for
thank
the
you.
first event. A couple of questions that people did ask me on your particular event. They were wondering, does it have to be, I know you named it the ice.
Oh, that's a gala.
Yeah, the gala.
Are we doing the
It
gala?
was the gala. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, we're very early stages of the gala. We did meet with Bon Appetit, who's a caterer at Stonehill. We've gotten a wonderful menu from them. So we're just going to have our subcommittee meet again and go over the menu. Joan will be calling you for that. And we've got all of our outside costs in almost, so we'll be coming up with the ticket price very soon. So.
I did ask a couple of people, what's your suggestion? And someone said, can you put the word anniversary? Anniversary ice gala. I know the word ice, but we're still thinking about that, it sounds like.
Well, we did like the ice ball idea, but we're open to suggestions, of course. I don't know, it's kind of a celebration, so
Anybody else
but if
have any
anybody else
comments?
has just text me or whatever. We've got plenty of time on that, but we wanted to get the big things out first. The menu, the food costs, that was the biggest piece of any event you put together. Once you have that piece, everything else is pretty easy. So, and we'll come up with the ticket price. I'll be emailing everybody because Amanda wants to be included, so she should be ready, within a week or so, or 2 weeks, to meet with everybody.
Well, pass on our congratulations to her.
Yes,
And
yes.
the brand new baby girl.
She's so cute, and I told her she's on maternity leave, but not from Tricentennial. So we've still been working. So yes.
She's got a tough course.
Yeah. So the gala's gonna be great. So.
Can I ask you a question about that? About the
Final
gala?
event of the year.
I know you're you're doing the menu and all that. Are you envisioning like a black tie or?
It will be black tie optional. Yeah.
Black tie.
We were going to be or black tie encouraged.
Okay.
Whatever the wording's going to be, it will be black tie for sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be very fancy. And the menu, Bon Appetit, is wonderful. So the menu, I think everybody's going to be very, very happy with what everybody has planned. Not too many, not a lot of talking, just a lot of fun, which we like. Right, Dave?
That's right.
There you go.
Thank you, Anne Marie. Let's move on and talk about the block party.
Deal.
Time's up.
Deal. That's good too. So at the brainstorming session, I brought in the spreadsheet of basically everything we've compiled to date and got feedback on several things. I went and took that spreadsheet and took out some of the stuff. I added some more porta potties after our hefty porta potty discussion, which was very important and it was good insight. So we changed a few things around. The budget with my little slush fund of $1,000 for things we didn't think of still puts it just under $26,000 if we do everything on here, which I'm not saying we have to. This was like, I want it to go big or go home and then we'll book it and see how it goes. So the next step for us is going to be taking this and having a meeting with our committee again and assigning the people to, okay, you go book this, and let's see who we actually get. And we can come up with the official budget afterward, but as long as we're pretty comfortable with that, we're going to start booking things to make sure we get them. And then I'll be able to give you the actual cost, because right now this was kind of a quote and best guess at costs is what they said. So
Does that include security?
right now, what I did is I put 2 details on here at the $61 per hour price. I realize they're 4-hour blocks that we have to do. So ultimately, it's going to be 2 details for 8 hours, most likely, because there's going to be setup, then the block party, and then takedown. Speaking of that, on one of the decals, it showed 11 to 4 as the time. We would like the block party to just be 11 to 3. We still need that setup and teardown time, and we're taking up Main Street this whole time. So we're trying not to make it take any longer, and really we want to make sure that police details are done in 8 hours, because if we move over to the next one, it's another 4 hours. So 11 to 3 is what. Yeah.
It says 11 to 3.
Okay, cool. Somebody's thing is I just want to make sure we're all clear. That's what we would like to do to try and limit the security. My question I asked at the brainstorming session was, is 2 details enough? And that's the part where I have no concept of that. So I think when you do have that conversation about security at events, we need to get their input of what would be required for that sort of thing, especially where we're blocking off the street and there'll be detours and whatnot. So I think we need the input from them. So I put 2 in here because we need at least 2, but I have a feeling the cops are going to come back and say it should actually be 4 or more.
Did you get that pricing directly from the police chief?
Not from the police chief. I literally called the number and talked to the wonderful desk sergeant, and that's the price they charge.
Okay.
Like
I
Eastern
asked
groups.
only because we paid a lot more than that.
Well, so yes, if because it's the Easton 300, it's the Easton price versus the regular everyday price. So that is the Easton discounted price. I was kind of wondering how that would go. So again, I just put it in as the basic. We have to figure out the security a little more efficiently.
Dale and I are going to be meeting with the police chief and the fire chief next week. Not so much to negotiate, but to find out what he can do for us. He may have to call in some people, like for the parade and the fireworks, extra people. They may not all be from Easton.
Yeah.
In order to accommodate security needs. But he seems to think that he can do what he can to help us out, because it is a town anniversary day. So we'll get back to you on that.
Yeah.
The cost of detail is based on the union contract with the officers. If it's 4 hours with a cruiser, it's about $435 for that 4 hours.
Yeah.
If you're closing off Barrows and Main Street, when we did the Pride event, there were 2 officers there. So I don't know if people think that we need more than that. They were they were up at the end of Barrows and also at the end of Main.
Mm-hmm.
But it's part of the conversation. I don't think there's any deals can be made, given the fact that it's part of the contract. I don't know if you want cruisers. If you don't want cruisers, then it's a little bit less money.
Where is the cutoff going to end?
What is the route that you closed off, please?
From basically the Rockery to William Street, but then down to the Children's Museum. Like that.
Yeah, because we
That
just
helps.
closed off in front of the hall, and that's $600.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what
We closed off the street.
Oh, yes.
2 poles.
Yeah, right, just right in front of the hall, and it was $600. Yeah.
For how many officers?
Yeah, I want to say 3 or 4.
So either way, that's the thing that just needs to be figured out. We have to have that conversation because I also have no basis on how many we should have for that scope. So
That's a big scope.
Right, it
Probably
is.
talking 6.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking. So I put in 2 just because we needed at least something, but realistically, we have to have the police chief tell us what we need, and then we'll just plan accordingly. So the goal is to get it down to the 25,000, just like everyone's asked. But right now, we're sitting just about 26. But like I said, that's with $1,000 slush fund for. Oops, we didn't forget. Also, we have T-shirts in here for staff and whatnot. That if we end up getting it through other means, that would not need to be a line item on here. But we definitely want the volunteers to have staff or volunteer t-shirts.
Have them get, like for the parade, instead of saying parade staff, put like Easton 300 staff, and then we can reuse them for the block party.
Isn't that what Amanda?
I think the t-shirt should
Just
be
wash 'em.
uniform for every
Right,
event.
right.
Yeah.
Should have the logo on front and then staff.
Yeah.
I don't think we should have special ones for each
No.
event.
Yeah.
So
Because
just,
you have to order them in bulk.
right.
So you're gonna be ordering 100 or whatever, instead of ordering 24 for the parade or 40, and then
Yeah.
I think it would be easier that way, just my opinion. But can you pass this down to Dave?
Yeah. In that regard, though, because you had asked about volunteer or staff, like the wording on the back, I actually wonder what it would be like if we had a T-shirt and then those who are volunteering to work under us had a different T-shirt. Because if everyone's in the same color and it says the same thing, and you're a volunteer and you don't know who to talk to ask questions, we need some chief T-shirts, if you will, so
Yes.
they know who to go to.
Amanda and I were gonna order name tags that coordinator.
Okay.
But
Some
we can
differentiate.
also do
Clydesdales, yeah.
t-shirts, say that too, whatever you
That was a
want,
nice entrance.
chief, whatever.
Yeah, let's start over.
So that's, yeah.
Throw something out at the committee for future discussion. In some towns, they have a separate allocation for security and public safety. They don't take it out of the category of the event. And the perfect example is the parade. In order for Corey to hire bands, he could spend a quarter of his money just on security, forget about the bands, the Shriners, and all the stuff that comes with it, plus transportation. I want you to think about that. Originally, when we first started, we talked about just having a certain allocation for security, and then have the people come in that are event coordinators and present their budget for what it actually costs to do their event.
So where would
I
security?
mean, we still gotta pay for it.
Well, we had a separate, on the estimated budget that we did a year and a half ago, we do have a line item on
Yeah,
there
the
for
bucket for
security.
security.
Outside of each
Yeah.
event,
Mhm.
yes. So we can just transfer the event to the security budget.
But anyways, keep that in the back of your mind, we'll discuss that as groups come in, coordinators come in and present their budget during the month of August, and it may even run into September. I know it sounds, Dan, like you and Jamie have pretty much have an idea of what it's gonna cost. Corey's working on the parade, Joe needs to come up with a budget. And I know Anne Marie and Amanda have come up with a pretty good idea of what the ballpark's going to be for their particular budget.
Yeah, we've submitted
He-
the budget for kickoff, that's
Yeah.
already been submitted.
And of course, I know we haven't talked about the fireworks, Ken, is that still on hold?
Let's say that it's not on hold, it's kind of in process, but my thinking today is it's not going to happen. But there's still a possibility.
We appreciate you going back and doing what you can.
Dave, can I ask a quick question? I want to backtrack a minute. Are you suggesting that the staff t-shirts are separate outside of the event budget, perhaps a separate item? And
No.
is what, no?
No, I wasn't suggesting that,
I mean,
but it's still
Are you thinking
on the
that?
table.
Okay.
Anne Marie offered to come up with the jerseys, but
I just did the research on the price, but I think it's gonna be a separate
Yeah.
budget item encompassing all the events, correct, if I'm correct?
I guess my question is, should every event,
let's find out what the coordinators are gonna present first.
And
then
then
we'll
decide.
how we're gonna,
and same with security, that may be separate as well?
and security as well. We're gonna meet with the chief, Dale and I.
I'd be happy to go with you guys to that meeting.
You want to join us?
Yeah, I'm not sure what day and time it is, but
I'm waiting for the chief to give me an exact date.
both chiefs or just the police?
Both chiefs.
Both chiefs.
Yeah, Chief Alexander is on vacation, I think, this week, so I think we were looking at perhaps sometime next week,
Okay.
I think.
Okay, And I'll make sure I call you first.
This young man would like to be recognized over there.
So, just because on that topic, so at one point we had, I think it's Mark Lynn was doing all of the logistics and so have you absorbed that? Is there someone that's handling, do we have to pull permits or any of that?
Well, that's what Craig's doing. He's
So you're doing it, okay, all right, so swapped out.
That's what we talked about.
Okay.
Okay, the next event. I guess we've heard from everybody that is coordinating an event. Let's go to the anniversary book.
Yep.
I know you have some news to share. And thank you, Chris, for getting here early to take some photos.
No problem. Yeah, so I had sent it out to the committee this morning. Some of the prices that I got estimates on for the hardcover book. That was based on 100-pound paper, which is like the best photo paper, best paper for a book. They ranged from $4,800 to $9,400, not including shipping and tax. Obviously, the $4,800, that's kind of like the bottom of the general average that I was seeing was about $6,500 plus shipping plus tax. I am waiting on one more estimate from a book company that Lisa had recommended, and he's going to get me that estimate by tomorrow. But I was thinking a comfortable budget because it varies on so many things, and especially whereas we're a year and a few months out from actually publishing the book, that the prices could also change within that time frame. So basing on $10,000, the price per book comes to about $33. So I thought that was pretty reasonable considering it's a hardcover book. It's 200 pages long. It's going to have a ton of photographs of, we're going to try to, have a variety. And
Excuse me, you're talking about 33 as a cost to us?
a cost to $33 a book. So we could.
So what are you going to retail for?
So, and again, it varies because if we go down one level of stock on the paper, it varies quite dramatically. So we could get it to say $22 a book. So it just depends on.
You're $6,600 for 300 of those without the shipping.
Without the shipping, but the tax was $500.
Well, we're tax exempt, so we don't.
Okay. So I can look into that. Shipping was also around $500. So I thought it was reasonable. I was thinking a comfortable budget, worst case scenario, was like $10,000, and we could sell the book for, I don't know, it depends on what we get the actual cost down to, but between $40 to $50. I don't know what people think about that.
Yeah. I think as long as you keep it under 50.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
50 is the max.
Yeah.
What is the, so I'm just looking, what is the stock?
The stock paper, so 100-pound is like the best for like photographs and things like that. 80 is not bad either, and that was the next level down, and we could get that cost down.
So the only reason I ask is, like, in your expert opinion, Barnes and Nobles for some reason.
That was crazy money. Yeah.
So is it like that big of a drop off in quality? And I hate to see well, DigiPod, 4,800 opposed to 6,600. I haven't seen samples, but I know like Mix'em Books, they're actually doing a hardcover book for me right now of my photography. Okay.
They're really good, and they were around the 6,600. But again, that kind of varies with different things, and we're a year and a like.
Well, the fact you have three that are at like the same price.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at too. And again, I have another estimate coming in tomorrow, but I just wanted to kind of get off the ground running. And
These are going to be in color. The photos are going to be.
Everything's going to be in color. Yeah.
Okay, you're going to come back to us later once you get all the estimates.
Yeah, I can run it down, but again, like I said, too, who knows where the prices, if things will inflate a little bit more or whatnot.
Can they lock it in?
They can't, no.
How many more photographs, or what percentage-wise are you into the book, or are all the photos? Well, no, they couldn't be all.
So no, we've covered. So we have the fire department. Like, we're just kind of getting design going now. We've got the fire department. They have 2 pages, and then our
you have to
committee
get all
will
the
have a
events
page.
anyway. So.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm thinking probably could be 3, 4, maybe sometimes 5 pages per event, just because we want to try to get as many people as possible in the book.
Is it possible to see a sample of the difference between the 80-pound paper and the 100-pound paper?
Yeah, I can reach out to them to try to get some samples on that.
And the last question I have, when will these be for sale? In 2026?
Yeah, so our plan, we're designing as we go.
Sure.
So like Ann and I have already photographed 2 groups. They'll all be designed by the end of the week.
Okay.
So like we're going as each event and as we photograph.
Okay.
So once the gala finishes up next year, it'll be in Mix'em books. They say 3 to 5 business days after we submit it, we'll have it.
And you can do
so we can.
pre-orders.
Yep.
Okay.
And then and I can already get a graphic of the book, like the cover, because I have that designed, and you can send that, and then that way you guys can push that out on social media saying that the books will be available for sale.
Yeah, maybe we could start selling them at all the events if you have the cover.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. We just
Yeah.
we just gotta figure out, what we want to sell them at, and just kind of get down to some of the nitty gritty of the
Do
details.
maybe
And
a
then,
slight discount in some of the early
Yeah.
pre-sales.
and like Dave said, first 300 will be in hardcover. After that, will be in soft cover. So that's an incentive to go after. If you
We
want.
found out in another town that they sold the first 250, and they went back 5 times.
Wow.
What you do is you get your money for selling the books and you rebuy.
I think it's going to be very popular.
Yeah.
Chris, is there a significant cost difference between 100-pound and 80-pound paper?
No.
Because if there isn't, it probably
I
makes
say
sense
100
just to go
pound.
with the best.
Yeah. And like I said too, I think the worst, the highest cost that it'll cost us to produce the books is $10,000 for 300 copies, which still, and that's shipping included. I don't think that's bad at all for 300 copies in hardcover.
Well, we look forward to your progress review. Tonight, you've got an important photo.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyways, thank you. And Chris, you're going to beef up your committee as well with other people that you need.
Yep.
What I'd like to do right now, folks, is I'd like to get a vote from our committee on the signature events. We voted on it many different times, but now we have all the times, the dates all in place. And I'd like to make it official and not have to keep bringing it up at our meetings. We get so many more things that we have to do. So I'm looking for a motion.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those not voting? Ken, okay. The fact is that it is official. We have the events. That doesn't mean that Anne Marie or someone might come back and say, we'd like to change or brush up on the title or whatever. That can happen, but the date, the time, and the place, taken care of. Now, yesterday, I met with Jessica, and we went to the high school and we walked the property. She's coordinating the picnic, and of course, the concert goes on at the same time. We agreed with the locations. We know where the fireworks are going to go off at the lower field at 9 p.m. And that's going to be on Flag Day. She's going to have the picnic not too far from the parking lot in the soccer area. We're going to have the flag ceremony honoring the veterans and splashing 3 giant flags on the football field in between the bleachers, using the sound system on the field for some patriotic music and having someone speak on the American flag. The picnic, she's going to come back with some recommendations. Right now, it stands as food trucks. And the park is so big, the high school site's so big, that nobody's going to see what the other one is doing. You're just going to be walking around. So Jessica is going to plan a lot of games and things. She wants to have additional music. We want to put up a stand, it could be a flatbed truck that could house the music from 7 to 9. She wants to do something from 5 to 7 to accommodate the people who are there, the families, with the picnic. So who's going to hold 3 giant flags? Hopefully it could be the Lions Club. There could be 1 flag being held by the veterans.
I nominate the chairman of the committee.
Or one really, really big pole banner.
Yeah.
Really big banner.
If you do that, I can make arrangements for some additional cooking.
I'll jump right in, I'll help you out on that.
I think that's a
But I
good
think
job for the
that's going to be a
selectmen.
very popular day, folks. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to end with the fireworks. And it's going to open up with the picnic. And I tell you, all the patriotic people in town, and even those that may not be, are going to enjoy the flag ceremony. I've seen it go on 2 different occasions. The guy who's going to coordinate these flags is the guy that took orders from the president to unveil the Mount Rushmore flag in South Dakota. He's been all over the country. He's been to several communities in this area. He's been to Borderland State Park. And it's very impressive. And it's going to cost us very little money to make that happen. So we're looking forward to it. So I wanted to give you that report.
Question.
Go ahead, Ken.
The question is somebody going to reach out to both the VFW and the American Legion and the Veterans Agent to make sure that...
There's a guy by the name of Adam Gunn.
Okay.
Who's willing to come forward. He's been involved with veterans to handle that responsibility and to oversee the flag.
As long as somebody's taking care of it, that's all.
I start off with it, but I try to unleash myself from these things.
It's fine.
And
You
get
got
other people
it
involved.
covered. What you're saying is you've got it covered. That's all.
And
That's the answer.
our own parade director, the former veterans agent, is going to
Yep,
also
that's
help
fine.
him.
Got it.
So we'll be covered. There was one more report. I can't think what it was right now, but I want you to know that this celebration is more than just the events that we sponsor as a committee. It involves other groups in town who want to do things, and of course they have their own budgets, and we might possibly contribute in some way because they're opening up their doors. I'm talking about Borderland State Park and the Antique Car Show. I'm talking about the possibility of a reenactment that could take place at Borderland. They're going to waive free parking for all of the 300 celebration events. Langwater is going to have a special ceremony, and it's going to be a fun family day. It's going to be at their site. Some things are going to be free, and some people have to pay for food. At some point in the next couple of meetings, we're going to have to decide how we handle that picnic. Do we have people? There could be thousands come in from out of town just to watch the fireworks. Do we want to be giving free food out, or do we want people to pay for the food? It was already suggested, why don't we do dessert? Make your own sundae. That could be a freebie. What does a sponsor like Bank of Easton take care of? They take care of the concert on the bandstand, the music, they take care of the picnic, and they sponsor the flag ceremony. Ken has a sponsor who's going to take care of the fireworks. So everything's accounted for except one event. At Anne Marie, we're going to find someone Courtney's working on it. We're looking for a $25,000 donor. I don't expect everybody to be calling my house tonight, but folks, we're still looking for volunteers. We're still looking for people to donate to this celebration. Holy cow, the town of Easton is celebrating 300 years. That's lots of history, it's lots of service, and we should be getting excited about it. And I'll tell you, our volunteers are multiplying. Our banners are multiplying. Our donors are multiplying. And I'll tell you, it's going to be a terrific celebration. Right now, we're catching up to where we should be. We still have a long ways to go. And I ask our committee members to take a look at that chart I sent you. There's 35 additional things that we have to do. I want you to be thinking about it. And as we have our meetings, we're going to continue. I strongly recommend 2 meetings a month till we get at least halfway into the year 2025. Those brainstorming sessions may not be totally brainstorming. They may be meetings to get some things accomplished and to get some things voted on. One meeting is on TV. Thank you, ECAT. And the other meeting is for us to scramble around and do what we can to catch up.
Okay, can I give one quick update when you have a moment?
Go ahead, I have a moment.
Okay, thank you. So I just attended the Lions board meeting, and so they've approved that they'll be helping out with the food for the bonfire event. They'll also be providing manpower for the parade. They're going to be purchasing a pole banner. And what I'm really excited about is that they've approved, as some folks may remember, we've done a number of celebrations of Easton events starting in 2020. The first one we did was to celebrate Easton Community Service Organizations. There was a lull during COVID. We then did the next one to celebrate the first responders in the schools for getting us through COVID. And the last one we did a year ago, May, was to celebrate our veterans. And they're going to do one called Celebration of Easton's History. And it will take place at some point that you're trying to figure out on the schedule, but either March or May, most likely. So they were looking at our schedule. So they will take the lead in doing that. I'm particularly excited about it because it's one event that we have that will actually be celebrating the history that is the 300 years. So it's just in the formation stage at this point. I'll keep folks aware, but I think it's going to be a phenomenal event. So I suspect folks like Ed Hands will get involved. So that's the update.
That's great.
What were the buttons again?
So they're going to be providing the food for the bonfire.
Yeah.
They will provide manpower to help out on the parade. They've approved a pole banner for the $300, and then also they've approved putting on a celebration of Easton's history event. So this is part of a series that it replaced the live TV auction that we had for 35 years or so, and we sort of rebirthed it, if you will, as the celebration of Easton. And the point of the celebrations are to bring folks together. And in this one, whether it be at Stonehill or elsewhere, the focus will be celebrating our history, but to try to do it in a fun kind of a way, not like people up there. It's going to be like with videos and things along those lines. So should be a lot of fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, members of the Lions Club. Their motto is we serve, and they certainly are stepping up to the plate to do that. And not just, you didn't come back with one thing, you come back with 4 things that are terrific.
Yeah, no, they're awesome. I mean, this is kind of what they do to help out on things like that. And they're used to taking the lead in these things, and so they love the idea that this committee has put together this full collection of events going the year. And the Lions also really like partnering with other community organizations in town. And that's exactly what we're doing with all of these things. We're all coming together. It's really pretty neat.
And that gives us something additional to talk about because some of the Lions Club representatives are going to be on that TV show, Easton 300. That's the first Tuesday in August. And now we got something to add to the conversation. It's absolutely terrific. And thank you, President Rob, who has been to some of our meetings. And It's straight down our alley, especially when it comes to history. I know we're so happy to have Ken involved with us, with the Historical Society. Right now, Dan's patting him on the back. And
Good job.
thank you.
And I'm about to burp.
I'd like to see if there's anything else you'd like to discuss on the agenda. It's been a good meeting this evening. Go ahead, Anne Marie.
I just have one quick item because I know everybody's tired. So, Amanda and I had a meeting with Ken and the Historical Society and one of his colleagues. So, we're going to be doing, if you can envision, we've all been to museums and things, kind of a walk-through timeline of Easton through the years. And it's also going to be very portable. So, like, Joan, you may want to get that for your arts festival. And so Ken's working with historians and to kind of bullet point certain things and certain people. Do you want to elaborate on that? So if anybody's doing a timeline of sorts
We were
that
talking
they're
about it for the
thinking
book.
of theirs, I think everything should be uniform and all that. So just talk
Yeah.
to Ken. So nobody's reinventing the wheel. That these historians that are doing this research and all that aren't doing it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
The one that we're doing for the kickoff will be a portable. So anybody who wants at any of their events, because we're the first one, can take it. They'll be done on those things you see at trade shows that you pull up. Those, I don't know what the formal name of them is called. And
Stand up banner?
No, it'd be like a, think about a window shade.
It's a retractable banner.
Pull it down.
retractable banners, yes. And thank you.
You're
I like
So, just want to let you all know we are doing that, so nobody's reinventing that. You're welcome to take it from, because we won't use it after the first. We'll probably use it at the gala as well. So contact Ken if anybody's thinking about doing any sort of timeline.
That'd be great for the celebration of Easton's history.
That's exactly the point.
Yes.
Yeah, and I want to follow up with you, Ken, too, about that.
But there is and I need to talk to Lucy and Chris afterwards because I need to catch, there was something similar done, to quote our esteemed chairman, in another town, in their book. So I have to get that, just to kind of see what it was done.
Anybody else have anything else? I have one final thing I'd like to mention, and that's to let folks in the community know that in September, the intention is to have a press conference. It's going to be held at ECAT, Eastern Community Access Television. We're going to invite our committee members to be there at the press conference. We're going to invite the media. We're going to announce the celebration and all the events.
Shut it off, too. I mean, I just turned it back on. I apologize. Sorry,
It's good to have
TV.
music in the background. But I thought it might be a good idea to officially announce the celebration, have some of the coordinators briefly give a capsule of what their plans are as we prepare for 2025. And ECAT can play it back 3 or 4 different times to let the community know. It sounds like, is anybody going to be listening or watching? Eventually they pick it up, and we can kind of confirm the dates and the times. So you're going to hear more about that as we meet before we get to September.
Can I just add to that? And this is directed to Mike. ECAT has their whole archive things, and these are on YouTube as well. We, as part of our marketing, should put forth some of those links for those out there as a way to get more viewership on those things, because they are these, you just do the link to the YouTube file or directly on ECAT. And
so there's talk about taking those and creating our own Easton 300 YouTube channel. Lost steam on that.
so you just like have the links on it?
Yeah, I think what I can do, and I was a guest of Dave's at one point on that, so I'd like to get at least that video back up in front of people. So yeah, I can go through the archives and make people aware. And
You said you wanted to put forward your own?
Yeah, that would be the
members.
first one.
Okay, just want to make sure that's okay.
No, but yeah, that's definitely a good idea and something I've been neglecting to do. And with the next one is the beginning of August. say, here's some archive footage, here's some old episodes, and there's a new episode coming up in August. We'll definitely get that out this week.
Excellent.
But we should do a channel because when we actually have the events, it'll be a good place to post those as we go along through 2025.
I put a manual together, it's gonna be with this committee, until the end of our celebration year. There's gonna be actually 3 manuals. This is one, there's gonna be another one, and there's gonna be one that has the minutes of all of our meetings that our secretary's taking care of. And I say we wanna do that because at the end of the celebration, there's gonna be other towns that are gonna look us up, come to the community, and gonna wanna know what did we do, and we'll be able to pass that over to them. Would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. We have a second and a third.
Gotta be quick out there.
All those in favor, say aye.
I'm turning my phone back on.